You're basically arguing for corruption.
Sort of.
Yeah. You're like, hey, listen,
guys, if
I solve this
good
problem
side,
and I go broke, I mean,
you got to make your
I'm
own
left
problems.
in the cold. What if I just kill these people and then help them solve the problem that I created? Welcome back, everybody, and today we are reviewing Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. I have been waiting for Witcher content since season 1 ended, and I binge watched it when it came out. 2019 in December, season 1 came out on
Binge
Netflix,
watch that thing?
and I finished it in like one day.
That
Ever since that ended, I've been craving more Witcher content. We have gotten nothing for a year and a half, and
we finally
got another animated movie on Netflix by Studio Mir, The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. And this is Vesemir's story. Vesemir is the Witcher who trained Geralt. This tells his origin story, basically, about from the time he was a child, from the time he went through the selection process of Witchers, and the Trial of Grass, I think it was called.
Yep.
And his whole early development as a Witcher, all the way up through when he first took Geralt under his wing. Getting started right here. What did you think of the movie as a whole?
I initially thought like the first couple minutes, I would say it's a couple minutes, let's say 30.
A little slow.
Oh, very slow.
Mm-hmm. Deliberately slow, I think.
And it was at that point that it was slow, but I still wanted to, because it was telling that story, because combined with the live action, which I really liked, because I wanted to know these things. I wanted to know about a Witcher instead of us getting right into, Geralt. Like, okay, cool, he's a Witcher. I only knew a little bit about a Witcher because of Ryan and him playing the games and him mentioning what they do.
In The Witcher 3 and in the Netflix show, Witchers are hated. And I never really understood. I never read the books, so I never really understood the full context of it.
You got that a little bit in the show with Henry Cavill, and like everywhere he went, they
but not the origin of why it was so intense. Like, they give such a good to society. Why are they in turn looked at so negatively?
Because they're like our government slimy crooks.
And this movie perfectly described what the issue was with civilization and the Witchers. The whole thing, for thousands of years, Witchers hunted demons and monsters to the point where they almost went extinct. And in order to keep their livelihood afloat and the traditions of their race together, because they are a different race, they're no longer human anymore, because they go through the transformation process
and they come back
as Witchers.
Yes.
So they're not necessarily they're technically mutants.
That's what they refer to them as.
They thought the best way to continue their lineage was to actually create monsters and
have to
fuse them and create new ones.
Yeah.
So they created one named Kitsu. And Kitsu turned out to be one of their worst creations, because she had extreme intelligence, and
the power that she had, my God.
The illusions that she could cast.
My God.
Well, after they created her, she then created more monsters. Her own monsters.
Yeah.
And that is basically the essence of, and everyone found out.
Eventually, that was the monster that Vesemir is actually sent to try to kill.
Yeah. Well, the main antagonist of the movie is the sorceress.
Tetra.
Tetra is the antagonist to Vesemir and the Witchers.
I just wanted to see her head get ripped off so bad.
I actually understood Tetra's point of view. I saw the fact that she is, as a sorceress, there to help, just like the Witchers are, in the sorceress's own way. Mm-hmm. And they thought what the Witchers were doing. You're just going out of business. You can't create more monsters to then solve the problem. That's like cops stuffing your pockets full of drugs and arresting you so they could say they were
gotta have
drugs.
Criminals to have cops.
And so I get it. Like, I get why she hated them.
You really can't fault the people for,
I don't know at all.
Making a business.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I think the Witchers, done the wrong way, yes, they did a good thing, but you had a lot of gold coming your way and a lot of money, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
You're basically arguing for corruption.
Sort of.
Yeah. You're like, hey, listen,
guys, if
I solve this problem and I go broke, I mean,
you got to make your own
I'm left in the cold. What if I just kill these people and then help them solve the problem that I created? I get why.
Sound business decisions.
I get why Tetra hated them. And even though I disliked her, I actually thought in the beginning, and this is something I really liked about the show, when Tetra and Vesemir got paired up in the beginning, I thought, oh, that's his Yennefer.
Oh,
they're
like
going to
Trevor
end
and
up in
Sypha.
love. And nope,
Oh,
I like
wait.
when a show can circumvent.
Wrong show.
I like when a show can circumvent my expectations and give me something different than what I thought.
Oh, good. Then what about that whole illusion, where I thoroughly believed that Vesemir just won?
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's The Witcher. The Witcher's going to win.
Yeah.
And then they ripped it away. That's when my mouth.
When Kitsu at the very end of the battle,
When
she created that illusion.
Ileana was saved,
Mhm.
they were like making out, I think.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but then it was all fake. My God, it came back and everything's just gone. Everything's burning. Everyone's dead. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? They ripped it away from me. They ripped it. And then that's my mouth's hanging open. The slowness disappeared.
I was wondering.
Things were just getting wild.
When I went into it, I was wondering. I was like, okay, I know The Witcher's a mature audience thing, and I was wondering, like, what are they going to do in here to make me convince me that it's for adults? And
You mean
soon
within
as
the first
that little
10 minutes,
family was in the woods and that
Oh my God.
that Leshen
Yep,
killed
yep.
that whole family, I was like, oh no, good.
It went through the father who was tending to his children, went through the back of his head, killed there were
Super
three
happy
kids
to
that he
see
killed.
Yeah, something like that.
And
yeah,
then-
in the beginning they killed children. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is The Witcher I know and love.
You get blood, you get gore, you get mild nudity.
Yeah.
And it, MA audience over here. And
Only.
right. It took you down. It started off slow. Got to give it that time. But my God,
It's a 2-hour movie. They have to tell you enough like exposition to make you care about like the characters at the end.
oh my God, it was
And
so good. Like
By the end, I was thoroughly impressed with the show.
for animated, you have, if you watched Castlevania, you have Vesemir, who's voiced by the same, and I like his voice acting, I guess.
Yeah,
so
Theo
far.
James did a
Theo
fantastic job with Vesemir.
and he was that cocky asshole that you didn't want to see succeed as a Witcher. Then by the start to end of the story, you grew
Completely
with him.
evolved.
You saw him in his childhood. You saw him go through love and hate and his family, his child. Everything was bad. So he elected to go into the Witcher program, I'll say, and it took you through his entire journey. By the end of it, I was A, happy he was alive, and B, wanted to see him go
I like
on.
his fighting style with the dual blades. That
And
was
his
pretty
whip.
badass.
This was literally Castlevania.
Trevor
in
Belmont's
which-
in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's the chain whip, the swords, cool. Then you had the voice by Castlevania. Kaer Morhen gave some similarities to Dracula's Castle. So I think for an hour and a half, good stuff.
Studio Mir did a great job with
They did.
animation here.
The blood was great and animated.
I thought the movement was nice too.
Yep,
Like,
it's smooth.
It was smooth.
Smooth. The fight scenes, because that's what I started paying attention to, was the fight scenes that, obviously are going to be a big part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And because you want to see them fight monsters. When all the monsters were coming through that portal from Kitsu and attacking Kaer Morhen, and it was just, at the very end, this is super spoiler, you see Geralt.
Little bald Geralt.
Bald Geralt.
I was trying to predict which one of the four was Geralt the whole time because I knew if the mage that makes the Witchers dies, which we know they all die because the Witchers can't be made anymore by the time that the Witcher live action show came out in 2019, we already knew that the lineage stopped there. So I was trying to figure out which one Geralt was, and the only one that I was like, it can't be him.
Can't be the bald fellow over there.
The bald kid, and it was exactly the bald kid.
That looked weak, and I don't think he was bald when we first met him.
Makes people like me feel good.
That's right. We'll
Yeah.
shine that thing up. But yeah, so now it ended off like right there, and now
I'm super excited for season 2.
obviously, right.
You know?
This got you pumped for season 2. This is the train now from here until season 1 of The Witcher. He's in training with Vesemir. Then he became, obviously, a lot of time elapses because they age very slow, but then they're going to continue right in, and now in Witcher season 2, he's heading back to Kaer Morhen because it's the breeding season for the monsters, the winter. They go back there for the winter.
So we're going to go right into Layman's review of The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf.
All right.
So let's grab this.
I'm excited to see what you got.
All right. Like normal, count down 3.
Yep.
Show them, show each other, and argue it out if we feel different.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
I think I'll need a little convincing.
Oh, okay. Well, That's a cop-out answer, too.
Nope.
So Ryan sat on the fence, and I was definitive with my grade here.
My little legs dangling
Yeah.
here. Because I tried to look at it with such a view of like, okay, from animation to fight to engagement to entertainment to storytelling. I was looking at all of that, and you know, as you guys have seen, that now I have a little book in front of me because I do take notes as I'm thinking, because you know, as we're watching and anything like that,
Just remember names and stuff.
I make notes so I can and have a thorough understanding of the show and try to make this a little more, you know, professional. But as we were talking about it, and this is the whole point of all of this, is getting you involved, us together after we watch it, and then we don't talk about it until now. You know, I would definitely erase that B, because I don't think I've watched a show come recently that literally my mouth is hanging agape as I'm watching this show.
So he's fighting my argument, basically.
Yeah,
So
it came out of nowhere. My God.
So
And
we're
yeah, it's an A.
We're gonna give Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf a on our tier list.
2 thumbs up. Animated, hour and a half. I would even rewatch it because I feel like I missed so much.
Some of the time
like
jumps,
in the back scene,
yeah.
you know, and you grew to want to see Vesemir with the older lady. Like, and that was, you know, as much as taboo as that is in our culture.
Well, he was 72.
You know, he was not. He was an attractive.
Yeah, he's 70.
30.
He's an attractive 70-year-old man.
But
Witchers live for hundreds of years, so.
Took her to the lake. Didn't get the house at the lake, but really, she died right there in his arms. They were in love since childhood.
It was a great ending.
It was.
It was a great ending.
And then he comes riding on his steed to pick up the boys.
And now we're just going to need season 2 to come out pretty quick.
December 17th, right?
Right around the corner. Guys, that was The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. See ya.